Knowledge is power. Make an impact by learning more. Call us right now for more help at 866-945-8070. Hey, Seth David here, and I'd like to welcome you to the revival, the grand reopening of BetweenWallandMaine.com. BetweenWallandMaine.com is a site I launched to really underscore how small business owners can take what we can learn from companies and what they're doing on Wall Street and apply that in our daily lives with our businesses that we run right here at home or on Main Street. More and more, there's a bigger and bigger segment of the economy. What I'm going to talk to you about today, I think, really underscores a very clear and specific example of exactly what I'm talking about when I say that I want to be able to show people how to connect the dots between Wall Street and Main Street. And I want to talk about distribution channels because I had an experience recently that inspired me to write this content and record this video and report back to you on what I've learned. About a year ago, I watched a webinar and I learned this system for how to automate the email capture process so that I can get people subscribing to my newsletter, like clockwork over and over. And then the newsletter system, which I happen to use, is MailChimp, so that MailChimp can now automatically send the emails out and start a chain of emails going. And then, of course, each week I write new email newsletters with what I hope people consider to be valuable content. Usually it's based on what I'm experiencing during the past week and the sort of lessons I've learned or things that I've run across or things that have inspired me. And this is actually a pretty good example of something I could just as easily have sent out in a newsletter. But I wanted to bring it here because it so perfectly fits the scope of Wall Street to Main Street. So a while back, my wife and I bought a French press. We decided to kick the Keurig to the curb. The K-cups are terrible for the environment. And we read an article that frankly scared us a little bit. And eventually when we kicked our Keurig machine to the curb, we opened it up and took a look inside, and sure enough, there was all this stuff that had accumulated in the tubing or the pipes or whatever they are. So we were very glad we made this choice. But more recently now, I was in Starbucks going to buy my coffee, and I saw this Thanksgiving blend and thought, sure, it's almost Thanksgiving, why not? I'll take it home and try it, right? That got me thinking about how I came to buy that product. I didn't know there was a Thanksgiving blend until I walked into Starbucks. And Starbucks has created a distribution channel, right? They have stores everywhere, and they've done a lot of advertising, and they've benefited, I'm sure, from a lot of word of mouth. I know that's how I originally heard about Starbucks, is many years ago when they were new. A friend of mine said, oh, you've got to try it. It's really cool, and it's a cool place to hang out, right? That was kind of the other allure of it. But now I've gone to Starbucks for so many years that I trust them. And I walk in and I see a Thanksgiving blend and I don't even question it. I'll take it home and try it. And as I pointed out in the write-up, even if I didn't end up liking that blend, that wouldn't stop me from going to Starbucks. I would still go, I just wouldn't buy that particular type of coffee anymore. So Starbucks has a distribution channel. Any major retailer, and we're talking about companies that trade publicly. We're talking literally about Wall Street companies. Starbucks, Best Buy, Amazon, all have amazing distribution channels. Now, when I bring up Best Buy over the last couple of years, a lot of people, kind of make fun of me. The reality is Best Buy has been very smart. They're stealing their distribution channel back from Amazon. Because what's been happening, people will go into Best Buy, they'll price things out, and then on your mobile device, literally while you're standing there in Best Buy, you can go onto Amazon and order your product. Well, Best Buy has gotten smart. They know people are doing that, so they're doing price matching now. So you can get the price matched. All you have to do is show somebody at Best Buy the proof that the same product, brand new, is cheaper on Amazon, and they'll give it to you. They'll give you the price. So by doing that, now they're again stealing their distribution channel back, because now, of course, I'm going to get it at Best Buy because I don't have to wait 2 days for shipping. I can walk out of it right now today. And if the only difference other than that is price, and the price is the same, why on earth would I order it on Amazon now? I would rather get it at Best Buy. In fact, now knowing this is true, I'm going to be that much more inclined to take a short drive over to Best Buy if I'm really excited to get something and I want it today. And I don't want to wait even the 2 days for the shipping. So we have major Wall Street companies who have built distribution channels, and the question is, how do we as small business owners replicate that? How do we create our own distribution channels? And you might think social media is the place, but actually social media is the tool that you use, one of the tools that you use to build those distribution channels. But social media itself as a distribution channel has failed us. Because if anything, sites like Facebook and Twitter and Instagram are limiting our ability to reach people on those channels. You have to pay Facebook to advertise or boost a post on your Facebook page in order for anybody to see it. Otherwise, nobody's going to see it, very few. The same with Twitter. If you're not paying for advertising on Twitter, people are going to have to deliberately seek out your content in order to find what you're posting on Twitter. I can't post something on Instagram with a proper link anywhere. The only place I can post a link on Instagram is in my profile. So social media has failed us as a distribution channel, but it is a great place to build our distribution channel using the right tool, which is our email list. The emails that we get, the subscribers who subscribe to us to get information that we're sending them, are gold. They are our gateway to forming relationships with the people behind those email addresses. So the email list is key, and the plan is actually a very simple one. But first you have to create some valuable piece of content, right? You have to have a video or an ebook or something to give away. And you can't just write some crappy 5-page ebook. It has to be something of substance, right? Especially nowadays, because I know that I'm not going to easily give out my email address and opt in for somebody to send me all their junk unless it's something really good, unless it's something I know I really want to read. If anything, I'm more in the habit of going through the stuff that lands in my inbox and unsubscribing from stuff that I just don't want to get anymore because I see it all the time and I never read it. And it's just cluttering up my inbox. So the point is, you have to give people a really compelling reason to want to opt in. In other words, it has to be good. And when I learned this plan, I thought about it and I thought, what could I give away? What could I do? And I said, well, I want to target people who want to use QuickBooks Online because that's really where I'm going with my business. So I want to do a video about QuickBooks Online. Great. What's the biggest pain point for people who either use or want to use QuickBooks Online? Probably for the typical small business owner, biggest pain point, a messy set of books. Great. I have a very clearly outlined process that we use internally in my company at nerdenterprises.com for how we review and clean up a company's books. And so I said, why not do a video that teaches people that process? And it's fine, let me give it away. Let people do it themselves. And then the few that need to or want to or recognize the value in having me give them more help will come on to give me more help. So I created this video and it ended up being about an hour-long video. And I called it How to Audit Your Company File in QuickBooks Online. And I posted ads on Facebook. And I found initially, and this was again about a year ago, that I was getting more email signups organically than I was through the use of the Facebook ads. So I scrapped it. Tried a few times, tried a few little different things, tried changing the target audiences. None of it worked. Recently now, a week ago, as of the time I'm recording this, which is November, I don't know, 6th or something, I decided to do it again, but I said, let me change up the language. And this time, instead of calling it How to Audit Your QuickBooks File, I called it just Clean Up Your Books. Just a simple statement, clean up your books. Here's a link to a free video that will show you how. And then I wrote a few more little paragraphs going a little bit further into what you'll get if you sign up for my newsletter. And all of a sudden, I went from getting my typical, which is about 15 new subscribers in a week, to getting 12 in one day. And I said, great, this is what I'm looking for. I found the formula. I found the right magic phrase, clean up your books. Apparently, that's what did it. Now, mind you, in the process, I'm building more people liking my Facebook page, and this is going out on Instagram, and it's getting a ton of people liking my post on Instagram. So since I've been running my Facebook ad here on Instagram, you can tell by the image to the right that this is my ad, and you can see all the people who've liked it. There's just a constant stream of people liking this particular post. There's somebody liking a different post. The beautiful thing here now with Instagram is when you have a boosted post from Facebook in the form of an ad which also shows up on Instagram, you have the option of putting a link in that sponsored post on Instagram so that you can actually direct people somewhere specific. So in my case, because I saw the option, I thought it was kind of cool, I included the option to allow them to open up Facebook Messenger and send a message through my Nerd Enterprises Inc. Facebook page. And I thought, great, what a great way to start engaging with my audience. And at that point, if people message me, of course, I can drop them the link and say, here's a link where you can go to, sign up and download the video. So free video, maybe it's not so free because there's value in those email addresses that I'm getting. Like I said, those emails are my gateway to forming relationships with the people behind them. So those emails do have value. It's not really free when somebody's giving me their email address. You know, they're putting their trust and faith in me, frankly, that I'm going to deliver them something good. Just like the very first time I walked into Starbucks, I put my trust and faith that I was going to enjoy the experience and enjoy whatever it is that I came to consume. And if I didn't like it, I wouldn't come back. Or maybe I'd try it once more. But if I really didn't like what I saw, then I wouldn't last very long. In other words, if your subscribers don't really like what they see when you send them what you've sent them, they're not going to stick around, they're going to unsubscribe. The key here is to build a distribution channel, which means to build a group of like fanatic fans because they just can't get enough of what you're sending out there. And you don't need a lot, right? Rather than trying to find 1 million, try and find 1,000 really good ones, right? Because remember, these are all people who voluntarily opted in because you had something of value to offer them. And then you kept offering them value, so they kept sticking around. And in my opinion, you have to do something at least once a week. Because if you do it once a month, they forget about you. But once a week, you really start to stimulate the conversations. And I love the fact that I have people who actually reply to me almost every week when I send out my email. And I love getting those replies because that's where the real conversation happens. And those conversations are the ones that very often evolve into new business. You know, somebody just wants my help, or hey, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, or your timing was perfect, I was just wondering about this the other day, and here was your email talking about it. And boom, next thing I know, we're talking, we're getting into it, and next thing I know, somebody hires me and asks me for help one-on-one. One guy who downloaded the video on how to audit your company actually remarked to me at the beginning of our one-on-one session that he felt it was a really clever way for me to engage with my prospects and my audience in general by giving out that video, because it gives you a sense of me, it gives you a sense of what I can do, it proves that I can do what I say I can do, so the selling work is done by the time somebody gets to me. So there's so many sort of legs that this thing has to it in terms of the way it grows and the way it goes in many different directions. So what I encourage you to do is think of some kind of content that you can offer, something that you can offer for fun and for free that would add tremendous value, and put that piece of content together. Then it's simple, then it's tools and things I can certainly help you with if you need the help, and I've posted the link to my website at the bottom of this article at nerdenterprises.com. But you'll need a website, preferably one done in WordPress, and you'll need something like MailChimp to facilitate the email capture. So they see your ad on Facebook, they click over, sign up, they opt in, they get the email with the link to download your video or your ebook or whatever you're offering them, and then the email chain starts. Then they get more. You know, and then you start sending them emails every week. And again, hopefully you keep hitting them over the head with a ton of value so that at some point people will just feel like they can't not call you to reach out and get more help with whatever it is that you can do for them. And that's how you're automating the process. And you can pre-program a series of emails. It's not just the first one. I have one that goes out immediately, which has the link to the video. Another one that goes out a day later with a surprise, hey, guess what? I have another follow-up video I didn't even tell you about. It's about another 12-minute video that goes a little deeper into the reports that we created or used to clean up the books in the previous video, because I hadn't actually touched on how to create those reports. And so people love that because it's a surprise and it's a bonus, and they're not expecting it because I didn't tell them about it. It's just like, oh, day 2, I get another one. Great. So they get an email immediately, they get an email the next day, and then I think the next one goes out like a week after that. Which reminds me I have to update it. But if you have a product to sell or a product to offer, this is how you build a distribution channel so that you can offer those products and services to the people in that channel. It's just like having foot traffic in your store, but it's a virtual store in the form of your email list. That's the secret sauce to how to build and automate this kind of stuff. And it's going to take a while, but the guy I learned all this from, a guy by the name of Mike Dillard, he's linked in the article, makes $50 million, and all based on this kind of a system. It's taken him years, but he's built it and it's grown, and now he can probably throw a link to an article or to a product that he's just got an affiliate link for and probably make a ton of money just hitting the send button and sending an email about. And mind you, and he says this himself, this is what I liked about him, because he was genuine, he wasn't full of you know what, is he made it clear that it has to always be valuable. If you send out garbage just to try and make money, you're going to lose everyone. It's just like if Starbucks started putting consistently crappy products on their shelves, I'd stop going there. I'd go to Coffee Bean, right? So that's the deal. You can create a simple system. You can follow the system to automate the process of building your distribution channel. And then you just have to put really good, valuable products on your shelf, so to speak, and put that in front of your subscribers and start developing those relationships with those people. That's my story. I'm sticking to it.